And that's per math. You have to realize that. That's all mathematically equated, and that's how we set those pre-race.
Right.
When you get behind the pace car, every now and again, things show just a little bit different, whether it be the pace car's tire diameter, maybe a different brand of car. Sometimes that changes and the math doesn't actually work out. So the drivers really have to pay attention to where that green light is, and so they don't get in trouble.
Now, Booty, like our old mechanical tack, this tack actually has a peak playback, but the good news about these spec gauges that Pro Parts has built, you actually have a peak playback on all of the gauges, which will tell you everything that was maximum during the race.
Absolutely. And what happens, you'll go out there, and let's say you want to know how many RPMs you're turning, you know, at the end of the straightaway or whatever. Well, the driver comes in, he's run his lap, he's discussing with us, you hit peak right there, bam, it shows you 11 grand, that's getting after you. But that's exactly how it works. And you can do these with any of these gauges, from fuel pressure to oil pressure, anything.
Now, of course, the tack's important, but we have a lot of other gauges. And Chad, last week at Michigan, this technology really saved Tony Uri Jr. in that 88 car.
I got a big problem. The water temp is 260, and the oil temp is 300.
So what I'm hearing there is Dale Earnhardt Jr., maybe he was not looking down at his water temperature gauge, but he saw it start to flash in that red.
Absolutely. What happened was, if you notice right here, the water temp, what we can do before we go out on the track, you press this button right here, you can set your peak, and you, like we talked about before, you can set your high threshold, you set your low threshold, and you can change your color. But what happened with Dale Earnhardt Jr., they had set that threshold, let's just say for argument's sake, 240. He's out there running, he gets debris on his grill, he's concentrating on the racetrack. Well, watch this gauge right here. As that water temp starts easing up, 220, 230, boom, 240. He looks down. When he sees this gauge is blinking right here red. So that tells you right there, the engine tuners and everybody else has set that gauge to when they know when the engine is getting ready to pre-detonate or anything else is going to happen. This starts illuminating, and he knows his water temp's wrong. If he didn't have this, he probably would not look.
So if the water temperature doesn't come down, for example, using that gauge, it'll flash red for 60 seconds and it'll stay red. Now, there's one thing about these gauges, the drivers, they've had a little tough time adjusting.
Yeah, for sure. And if you look at the water temperature gauge that we've got right here, you can see that from the 100 to the 160 mark, you've got about a half inch of distance right there. Okay, to the driver's eye, he gets acclimated to that. But the big difference is once you get up here, you see the difference that you've got from the 190 range all the way over to the 210 range. That's about a half of an inch. So that's a little bit less of an increment for the driver to actually see. And the reason they do that is so the drivers can pinpoint and be real specific about the water temperature. But the problem is when they look and they see those numbers the way they are, they can get very confusing to them from time to time.
Well, I know when I saw this technology, the first track I thought about was Bristol Motor Speedway, where drivers are going around this racetrack in about 16 seconds a lap. So you don't have a lot of time to look at the gauges. Now, we know, if you are fans, that not a whole lot gets by you, our viewers. Keep up the good work and keep sending those email questions to us. All you have to do is log on to speedtv.com, click on the show tab, type in NASCAR Performance, find us. I promise we'll be there.